All right, what's going on, guys? Tivo Supremo here, and I actually had content already recorded that I was going to put out before this video, but since I just finished this game, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, I want to talk about it before I forget about it, so let's dive into it. So right off the bat, I just have to point out that when I first saw this game get announced, it just did not look like my thing. I love The Legend of Zelda and all the games in the series. I pretty much have beaten every game in the franchise except for Oracle of Ages and Seasons. Those are the only ones I got left to go. But every new Zelda I love to get and pick up. So it's like, you know what? Even though this trailer and stuff isn't really hooking me, I'll go ahead and pre-order it anyway. So we did, and which was really cool because it came with this little like fabric map cloth thing. So I like little knickknacks and stuff like that, especially if it's from a franchise I really enjoy. But we did just finish it. So were my initial impressions of seeing a trailer, did they carry over to the gameplay? Let's kind of discuss and see how my feelings are on the game now. So in Echoes of Wisdom, we are playing as Zelda this time around. You guys have seen it in the trailers and everything. You know how it goes. Link gets into a battle with this Shadow Ganon type figure at the beginning of the game, which sucks him down into this dark rift, which leaves you with Zelda. You are controlling her, and you come to find out all these rifts are starting to open up all over the land of Hyrule. They're about to suck you down into one too, because one starts to form inside of your kingdom, and it sucks down the king and his helpers. And as you're escaping, you run into Tri, who is a fairy, and this fairy gives you an item known as the Tri Rod. And this Tri Rod allows you to copy certain objects within the game to then let you create them. So if there's a table sitting there, you can copy it, create it, and now you can make tables and place tables everywhere. The same thing with enemies. If you beat an enemy, you can copy it, and then you can have that enemy fight for you. So a pretty cool mechanic. So that's how the story is. You're playing as Zelda. You're trying to clear Hyrule of these rifts, and at the same time trying to find Link and put an end to all this chaos that is going on. So that area is kind of known as the Still World. There is an adversary who is trying to let this Still World take over and cover Hyrule in darkness. And throughout the game, you're going to be finding these little mini rifts that you can go in and help clear some of the land of these rifts. Now, some of these are little side mission rifts that you can go in and take care of, and some are part of the actual main quest line. Just like any tried and true Zelda game, there's going to be dungeons abound, so you got to go through these dungeons and clear it out and then move on to the next one. And that's pretty much how the story unfolds. So gameplay wise, it's a big mix up. Like I said, with that Tri Rod and being able to copy things and enemies, it really puts the series on its head from our normal hero Link going around just sword wielding and having a bow and bombs and all these other abilities and stuff he can use. Now we have Zelda able to create all these items and enemies to combat with. So how did that go? Well, for the most part, I really enjoyed that system when it came to the boss fights. The boss fights were a ton of fun, seeing how some new enemy I could use that I copied could get involved in this boss fight, and it really mixed up the gameplay when it comes to the boss fights. Because normally we're used to Zelda games where you find an item in that said dungeon, and normally that dungeon item is utilized some way during that boss fight. And in a way, this is kind of carried over into this Zelda too, because maybe there's an enemy or something within this dungeon that could play useful during this boss fight that you're about to encounter at the end of the dungeon. The thing that's unique with this game is there's probably so many different ways you can fight the boss fights that it's just use your imagination and let it go of how you can defeat these things. But another essential piece to the puzzle of the combat is when, I don't know what you call it when Zelda goes into this mode, but she actually has the ability to go in and use a Sword of Might for a certain period of time. You'll notice you'll have an energy meter that you unlock throughout the course of the game, and at any point of the game you can go into this mode where you can use the sword for a set amount of time. That also helps you utilize a bow during this time, and later on in the game you unlock the ability to use other items, which I don't know if I want to spoil or anything for here, but during this game, you can also level up these abilities. The sword starts at level 1, and you can gather these, I think they're called tri-crystals, tri-metals, something like that, that you can actually level up the ability and strength of your sword and how much energy and how long it lasts. So that's a key part to a lot of these battles too. Most of the time, a boss battle is going to have you do something where you're using the tri-rod, and then at a certain point you can switch over and use the sword and bow to really do some damage. So again, boss fights were awesome, but kind of everything in between that started to run its course on me. It's that tried and true Zelda formula, but I guess after doing it for like the 20th time in a game, it does kind of wear down on you a little bit. It does feel homey and right at home with any other Zelda game, especially if you had played Link's Awakening remake that was on the Switch with that graphical style they use. It's very similar to that, but just that gameplay style of going through a dungeon, finding a key, open a door, using some of the abilities you've unlocked to get through the dungeon. It started to get a little bit annoying because of how the tri-rod menu was set up and to navigate and constantly switch through things. It was just getting tedious and annoying. And I know many other reviews have probably pointed that out as well, as how just if they could have figured out another way to incorporate maybe your favorites or something, or maybe I couldn't find it out. The easiest thing I found to use was sorting it by what I used the most recently. So that way, if there was something I really liked and I used all the time, it was kind of near the front of the menu so I could get to it quicker. But man, I didn't realize you could sort that out till maybe 6 hours into the game. So I wish I knew that sooner. But it was really cool, some of the things you could copy. You could go through battles with some of these stronger enemies, but the game doesn't let you cheese the game too much, because Tri has its own level too, and as you'll see these little a triangle behind Tri, get it? And the things you summon or you can use with the Tri Rod have a level of their own. So if Tri isn't a high enough level, you're not going to be able to summon that thing to help you. So if you jump ahead and you're exploring the world like I did, and you unlock a really strong enemy that you beat, I'm still not able to summon them because the Tri was not leveled up enough. So it kind of keeps you from being able to kind of cheese your way through the game like that. But it really did. It made like I said, the boss fights were really fun. Just kind of everything in between. At a certain point, once you unlocked an enemy, there was no need to fight enemies anymore. So I just found myself running past them because there was no need to fight them. And again, this game has your tried and true Zelda side quest. I'm pretty sure I finished every one I ran into. There's one where you have Dampy and he can build like these mechanical summons for you that you can use to summon for the Tri-Rod, and I think I only unlocked about half of those because you need like a special essential item that's probably part of a side quest somewhere, and I only got like half of those. But so I'm sure I didn't finish everything. My hearts, I think I got up to where I had 4 heart spaces left, so I guess there's like 16 more hearts on the world I didn't get to get if they do like the full 2 bars. And then you get a bunch of side equipment that you can equip on Zelda, whether it makes you swim faster, climb faster, take less attack, gives you more defense and stuff like that. But I felt like I did the majority of the side quests, because by the end of it, the only one that I had on there was the Dampy one to finish off, and maybe I just couldn't find the other ones. There's also this little side mission with this stamp guy. You go around like finding these little stamp points around the world. He gives you these little rewards here and there for finding 5 and then filling up another card. Don't know how many there are. I know I filled up 3 cards, and on my 4th card I have 1 more stamp to go. So it'd be a shame if that was it and I'm missing that 1 stamp in the whole world. But, you know, is it the greatest Zelda ever? No, it's not, in my opinion. But it was really cool being able to have like that certain freedom of, once you unlock certain items to help you traverse the world, it's like nothing is in your way. Running on top of trees, just skipping all sorts of stuff. It gives you like a real cool sense of freedom, because if anyone like me remembers playing like Link to the Past back in the day, and you just have one stinking little rock blocking your way and you can't get by it, oh man, that is not an issue here. You just can do whatever you want to get around the map. So it was pretty cool. Again, it wore on me a little bit with the menu system, but overall, it'd be like a 7 out of 10 game for me. Like, it was solid. It's a Zelda game. You can't really ever go wrong with anything Zelda. The music and stuff still sounded great and traditional. It kind of carried that Link's Awakening type music to it. And visually, I know we didn't touch on it much, but like I said, if you like the Link's Awakening remake style they kind of did, it's following that same vein. That art style kind of wears on me too a little bit. Some of the graphics and stuff in it, it just looks so plasticky at times, where it's like, try a little bit more, but I understand. Like, it's a Switch, and again, who knows how long they've been working on it. They want to get things out and everything. And there were some graphical like stutters with it, some frame rate issues, nothing that was game breaking or nothing for me, but very noticeable. And it's got this, it like blurs the top of the screen and the bottom of the screen too. So if you're trying to see something that's up at the top of the screen, it's blurred out. And again, that's probably another thing just to try to help the Switch muscle through this game and get through it. So that's why we need a Switch 2. Nintendo, please hurry up and announce it and show it. We all want it. So I can't wait to see the games that come out on that thing and how they're going to be able to perform. So maybe they can really upgrade and put meat behind some stuff like this. I know this probably has a lot of coding stuff going on with it, so it might have made it challenging for making it more visually impressive or anything, but it gets the job done. And I'm not really nitpicky on visual stuff. It's just, no, it's not the best looking game out there. But overall, like I said, maybe like a 7 out of 10 game for me. And something I probably would try to get, it saves your save point right before the final boss fight. So I probably would go back in and see if I can find everything in it and get a 100% thing. Just see if that changes the ending up somehow, because I don't know if it does or not. And I will say that, without trying to spoil, the boss fights were really fun, except for the final boss fight. If you played it, maybe you understand, but in that fight, I just felt like a spectator. So it didn't really feel like all the other fights in it. If you play the game, you know what I mean. But yeah, it just really felt like spectator mode during the final boss section in that game. But overall, still enjoyed it and had a good time. So if you played Echoes of Wisdom, sorry for the reflection from the light. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments below, where you rank it at among the Zelda games. I can never make a ranking list of this stuff. Again, this wouldn't be my favorite, but I'd have to think about it if there's any that it actually beats, like Triforce Heroes and stuff like that, definitely. But let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.